There we go.
There is that
Love
sound.
that sound.
I kind of feel like Pavlov's dog. I get all excited when I hear that thing. Okay, today's twin. This week in the news, people who have made news, are making news, or will surely make news. People who do things the way they do them and are successful about it. This week's twin is about a lady named Marcia Kilgore. Marcia Kilgore.
Who is Marcia Kilgore?
I am so glad you asked. Marcia Kilgore is an world-renowned serial entrepreneur today, and it's because she became this way because she turned an uncomfortable event, uncomfortable, not world-shattering, uncomfortable event, in fact, an event that most of us have experienced, and you experienced it recently, and she turned that uncomfortable event into a multi-million-dollar motivator. Let me tell you about Marcia Kilgore. Marcia, the last of three daughters in her family, was born in 1968 in the farm town of Outlook, Saskatchewan, Canada. I never, aside from Outlook being the mail system from Microsoft, I never heard of Outlook, Saskatchewan, Canada. But let me tell you all you need to know about Outlook, Saskatchewan, Canada. It has 2 TV stations. And for 10 months a year, the #1 activity that everybody participates in Outlook is how to stay warm. It is really, really cold. Marcia's dad was a real estate agent, and her mom stayed at home to raise the kids, to raise the family. As a teenager, though, even in Outlook, and I'm maybe being too cruel to Outlook, Marcia was focused, and she was goal-oriented. She earned top grades in high school, played in a band, high school band, and she participated in sports. So she was active. She wasn't going to let the cold keep her from doing what she wanted to do. At age 15, Marcia's sister, obviously was older, she had a friend who owned a local gym. And he said, hey, Marcia, I don't know if he was trying to impress his sister. Her sister says, hey, you can come to my gym whenever you got some time and be my guest. Well, at that gym, Marcia went. She says, hey, it's a free deal. I'll take it. She met a female bodybuilder who got her involved in bodybuilding. And Marcia, being focused and goal-oriented, she became obsessed with working out. And she eventually won the middleweight bodybuilding titles in Saskatoon and Moose Jaw. And as you will hear later, this would not be the only time Marcia turned obsession into success. While living in Saskatchewan, Marcia had jobs as a waitress, a gymnastic coach, and an aerobics instructor. But Marcia was looking for a way to leave Outlook and do something special. She got her chance. Marcia's sister was a successful model in New York City, and she made a challenge or an offer to Marcia. She says, hey, Marcia, if you can get accepted into Columbia University, which was not easy to do, if you get accepted to Columbia University, I will pay your tuition. That's all Marcia had to hear was a challenge. So to no one's surprise, Marcia got accepted into Columbia University. So 18-year-old Marcia leaves Outlook, Saskatchewan, Canada, and arrives in New York City with $300, ready to enroll into Columbia University. But there was one problem. Her sister's career and finances had not materialized as expected, and she could not pay for Marcia's tuition. Well, by that time, it was too late for Marcia to apply for financial aid. So Marcia started the next phase of her life in New York City with $300 and a lot of ambition and no place to go. Marcia enrolled in a few classes at a local college just to keep her studying. And since Marcia was already addicted to working out, she joined the local neighborhood gym because she needed to work out. It was there at that gym that she met a film director who was impressed with Marcia's workout regimen. And she said, hey, Marcia, will you be my personal trainer? I'll pay you, but please be my personal trainer. She did, and he was impressed. He then introduced his friends and his co-workers to Marcia, and they hired her to be their personal trainer. Well, Marcia's sister, the model, heard about Marcia's personal training success, so she introduced Marcia to other models, and they in turn hired Marcia to be their personal trainer. Marcia now had a full-time job as a personal trainer. Not too long ago, she had $300 and nothing else to do. Well, Marcia was working 6 long days a week. She'd get up at 5 a.m. and have her last personal training client at 9 p.m. There was little time for herself. Most time between college class, she was still taking class in college, and clients, she just had just enough time to wash her face and apply new makeup because she wanted to look good. This grueling schedule started to take its toll on Marcia's energy and the health of her skin. And one day, after taking an economics exam, she was still studying for college courses. Marcia was exhausted. He says, you know what? I'm going to do something just for me. I'm going to treat myself to one of those facials that she heard about. She had been saving for a while for this for me only treat, and she took her $50 to the place that she heard was the end all of place to get facials. She says, I deserve to be something special. I deserve this treat. And she remembers walking into this place and sitting down for her treat. Make it special. The esthetician looked at Marcia's skin through some kind of contraption and said, what a pity. The esthetician then called over her manager to look at Marcia's skin, and he too was disappointed at how bad it looked and told her. Marcia felt awful. Marcia was embarrassed. Marcia thought to herself, that'll just happen. This is no treat. She says, if I ever, this is thinking to herself, sitting in that chair feeling like a piece of crap, if I ever have my own business, I will never make my customers feel bad about themselves. This is the event that made Marcia the success she is today. Marcia then did what I call the Marcia thing. She says, this will never happen to me again. I will never be put in that vulnerable position. She was so upset at what happened to her at that thing that she signed up and took a 4-week crash course on skincare because she says, I will never be humiliated like that again. While she was taking a skincare crash course, she convinced her personal training clients to come to her 300 square foot apartment. She had a 1-room apartment in New York to let her practice skincare on facials on them. Well, remember she had many models as personal training clients? They were amazed at how well Marcia's facials improved their skin. They started telling the model friends, said, hey, I got this personal trainer that does facials on the side. You've got to see what she did to my skin. And they could all see the improvement. Marcia now had a long-lived skincare clients as well as personal training clients. The power of word-of-mouth marketing. Marcia had to spend a penny on marketing, except doing a great job and making her customers feel special, not bad. Her clientele grew and grew, and soon clients had to book facials 5 to 6 weeks in advance. That's how booked she was. She says, so in 1993, at the age of 25, Marcia Kilgore started her first business. And I said first because there's going to be more. She hired a person to work for her, and she opened up a business, again, in her apartment, and they called it, let's face it, Skincare Treatment Center. Clever, let's face it. The business kept on growing. No marketing, just word of mouth. She now had 5 estheticians, and they still could not keep up with demand. The business became so popular that she opened up a storefront, that new clients had to wait 16 months to book their first appointment. She was booked almost a year and a half in advance. 3 years later, I want to remember the timeline here. In 1996, Marcia moved to a bigger place because she was growing in New York's Soho neighborhood, not a cheap neighborhood, with 10 treatment rooms, and she changed the name of the business to call Bliss Spa. Marcia was asked in an interview recently, she says, wait a minute, Marcia, In 1996, there were many, many spas in New York City. What made Bliss such a big hit? And here's her response. She said, in all the businesses I have started, and as you'll see, there'll be a number, they've always been places that I would want to go to. If I wanted to get a facial, remember the facial, or a body treatment or pedicure, I wanted a place that was non-judgmental. Stick it to that first place that made her feel bad. And I wanted a place where people go and just had fun. It's supposed to be a treat, not a chore. After 3 years in Soho, Bliss started making their own skincare products line under the name of Bliss. And then Bliss opened locations in other cities, in New York and LA and major cities. In 1999, 6 years after opening Let's Face It Skincare, Marcia was approached by LVMH. They're a European conglomerate which owns the Louis Vuitton high fashion line. And they bought 70% of Bliss from Marcia for $50 million. That all went to her. And in 2004, 5 years after that, Marcia sold the remaining 30% of Bliss to Starwood Hotels and Resorts for an unknown dollar amount. Not bad for business number one. So after selling Bliss, Marcia moved to London with her family, and she took 3 months off to decide what to do next. She was only 36 years old and already a multi-millionaire. Well, she was doing the Marcia thing, that's what I call it. She was reading newspapers and looking for what she calls gaps. We call them business opportunities or complaints or problems. And she noticed a few things. She said, at that time, this was now, 1999, I guess it is. No, 2004. She says people were worried about the environment. And you know what? People wanted designer quality products at affordable prices. This is just before the crash. She thought to herself, how can I take these two concerns and roll them up into a fun product that I can sell? Well, 2 years later in 2006, at 38 years old, Marcia started her second company. She called it Soap and Glory. Designer, affordable cosmetics in very simple, environmental friendly packaging. She was living in London, so she approached Harvey Nichols, which was a London-based fun department store, to sell Soap and Glory, and they agreed. Again, she already had a reputation with Bliss products in the States. Soon after that, a large London-based drugstore chain named Boots, similar to our CVS, came calling, and soon they were selling Soap and Glory in their 1,800 stores. Within 6 years, Soap and Glory was doing over $100 million per year in sales. But Marcia did not stop there. About a year after Soap and Glory was doing over $100 million in sales, Marcia had an idea for a shoe that was ergonomically correct and would align your body as you walk. She says, a lot of people, their only exercise is walking from point A to point B. What if I could design a shoe that would straighten out your body as you walked, as long as it was comfortable? So in 2007, Marcia, working with a few designers at a couple of third business called FitFlop. And soon they were selling 500,000 pairs per year in Bath & Body Works retail locations. In 2014, 7 years later, Marcia sold her stake in Soap and Glory for an unknown amount of money. It was private and she never discussed it. Marcia did not stop there. 2 years later, in 2016, Marcia started her fourth business called Beauty Pie. And here's where Marcia's cleverness even, I think, hit the higher level. Marcia's Beauty Pie is a combination of Netflix, which is, subscription-based model, and Sephora, which is high-quality cosmetics. Beauty Pie subscribers pay $10 per month. $10 per month. And they can buy the highest quality beauty products, but they do not pay the retail price of beauty products. They pay only the manufacturer's cost to make them. For example, high-quality lipstick, which costs $3.57 to manufacture, sells for $25 at a place like Nordstrom's or these Sephora's. Beauty Pie members pay only $3.57. She took the similar to a Costco model and says, I'm going to make my money on the subscription fee, and I'll give you the best products at the best price because I don't make any money on them. When asked how long she had been thinking about this Beauty Pie concept, Marcia states, you know what? Probably my whole life. She says, I love beauty. I love helping women look better and feel more confident. She said, that's my thing. She said, I know how to formulate because I did that with Bliss. I know the best chemists because I did that with Bliss. I know the best suppliers because I created my own products. And now with the advent of the internet and the power of social media, I can give all people a bigger piece of their, what she calls beauty pie. As in her previous businesses, Marcia relies on word of mouth and now social media to build her subscription base. Beauty Pie is privately held, so growth numbers are not publicized, but nobody questions Marcia's quest for success. Not bad for a kid from Outlook, Saskatchewan, who at the age of 18 arrived in New York City with $300. So I looked at this and I read everything I could and I watched her videos. And I came up with 3 small business lessons I think we can learn from Marcia Kilgore. Starting when she was living in New York, here's lesson number 1. Starting when she was living in New York City, Marcia Kilgore did what she was obsessed with and passionate about. Solving problems she noticed in the health and beauty industries. She was not into inventing the next iPhone, creating a new recipe for apple pie, or even how to groom a dog. That I'm sure they're important. She was only obsessed with health and beauty. And I think this may have originated from her sister's boyfriend inviting Marcia to the gym and getting her involved in workouts. So Marcia did what she cared about and passionate about and obsessed with. Most people are happy just being better or cheaper than their competitors. My question is, what problems in your industry are you obsessed and passionate about solving? Small business lesson number 2. Because of what happened to Marcia when she scrimped to save that $50 to get a facial and give herself the treat, from that moment on, Marcia promised that every business she starts, she strives to make her clients' experience so exceptional that they rave about it to their friends, word of mouth. You know what most people strive to do? To maximize the number of clients as long as each client experience is acceptable. Acceptable is not acceptable to Marcia. It's got to be exceptional. If I were to survey your clients, would they say that their experience is so exceptional that they rave about it to their friends? Or would they say that you did a pretty good job, what you did was acceptable? When it's exceptional, word of mouth. When it's acceptable, they thank you, pay you, and leave. Big difference. But business lesson number 3 is really important, I think, today. Marcia Kilgore looked outside her industry for ideas to start her latest business, Beauty Pie. She went to the Netflix subscription business model. Most people think that their industry is so unique that they must only look within their industry for new ideas. Well, just a basic question. Could you add a subscription service to your business? If not, why not? And that's my twin for this week on a successful serial entrepreneur named Marcia Kilgore from London.
Wow.